Right, so what's going on with these game IDs you want me to review for you? What's the story?
I guess just new patch, just feeling it out, and it was definitely helpful. I think conceptually, like on Naga, you definitely helped me solidify kind of, just how to my concept of hero and of my goals in the game, and so it's a new patch obviously, and so I've been Faceless seems to be kind of the standout carry for the moment, and I have a lot of games on Faceless. I haven't haven't played him very much in the last year or two, couple of years probably, and so I just thought it might be helpful to discuss some of that. I've been winning on him, but I know that I just feeling on my I can feel that I'm clunky. I can feel that my concept of how to play it. Definitely, there's some mechanical things I need to work on, but there's some decision making that I think you could probably help with. And game in particular, I definitely made some mistakes in lane, but the game was going well, largely because my necro was quite strong, and so. But then there were a couple of mishaps, but also I'm sure some things that just could have gone better, and so I just would have. It took us a long time to end it, frustratingly, partly because the necro I think was griefing a bit, and then finally we finished. But I'm hoping
Can you see my screen right now?
All right, I am in.
So this is you on the game.
Yep.
Let me see what you got. Gloves of Face into Mask of Madness, into Maelstrom, Manta.
I wasn't going to get the Mask of Madness, but then I clearly needed it, so kind of went back for it.
Okay. So the items I see people build on the Faceless Void nowadays, instead of going this Manta study, they go for this Butterfly Disperser combo. The reason being, this item gives you the dispel you want on 15-second cooldown basis. Compared to this one, this is double the dispel you can use. This is 30 seconds, this is 15 seconds. And because it has aging in it and damage in it, it goes better with the butterfly, which allows you to have so much damage and attack speed inside the chronosphere. Or even outside. But that's more common build this specific patch on the Faceless Void.
That's it. I haven't done. I built Diffusal the other day because I was against Anti-Mage and Timbersaw.
Yeah, I remember. I watched a bit of that again.
It felt terrible. I was like, man, if I could go back, I would not do this again. So that's interesting that they're doing that. And in this game in particular, the reasons that I went those particular items were because I needed the stats. I felt like I needed more hit points because they had so much magic damage, and I just felt like I needed the survivability that neither Diffusal nor Manto really were going to give me.
We'll see. Let's get to the point of the game that this happens. What was going on at the beginning of the game while you've been AFK?
Oh, I don't know. I've got dogs. The dogs might have distracted me for a minute.
Try to avoid that. It might be simple or small, but over the multiple games, it will it can change the result of 1 out of, let's say, 10 games, and that's even more.
Absolutely.
Any reason you're not getting any of your spells till now?
Because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure which one I wanted, and so I was kind of saving. I was kind of holding the point to see how they were playing and what they were going to do with the silencer. If I was cautious about depending. I wanted to see if he took glaives first or right. So I didn't notice that at first. I was focused on the last hitting because if he took glaives, then I was definitely going to take the Q. But I was just focused on the last hitting, I think. So.
What does of the glaive has to do with you getting the Q instead of, let's say, your time lock?
Because if he took whichever one, the one is that if you use a spell, causes more damage or extends the damage time. I wasn't sure how much that was going to affect it, and then I think I wound up taking Q, and I think I used it anyway just to see. I was like, I don't know how much this is actually going to hurt me. It didn't seem worth taking the time lock if Slarter wasn't being aggressive and he was just going to damage over time me, then taking the Q didn't seem worth it, at least for the first level. And then my experience taking the time lock is that I don't know, at level 1
it just doesn't work.
It just feels like a lucky hit, it's like it's not reliable. Like it feels like you're committing a point to, so I was kind of just playing wait and see. So not having the E while I'm trading here didn't feel like a loss. And then, so I was just kind of waiting to make a decision. It didn't feel like I was losing anything. Because if Slarter did hit me for a bunch of damage, I could easily just skill the Q, use it, and,
there is nothing wrong with holding in a skill point. I'm just asking to know what you're doing. The thing is, as you mentioned, like this is spell level 1 is like way too weak to be good, so it's usually not worth getting it. In some cases, against heroes that spam a lot, let's say a Bristleback or something, it's worth considering time dilation because like it just makes them so they cannot cast any spell for the duration of effect. So it's good against them. Other than that, almost all the time you can get the time walk and like know that okay, anything happens, I can use the spell. And it's like extra healing spell. Look at it as a healing spell. It's also allow you to like, let's say these two are fighting to the side, you suddenly like time gap close to this guy and like help or get a CS or something.
Yep. And if I needed to, nothing's stopping me from control. Boom, I'm in. So. I definitely need to spend a little time in the backswing on Void is a lot longer than the other heroes I've been playing, and so I'm definitely like a little clunky on the early lane last hitting.
I see. You're doing okay. Like in terms of creep aggro and everything, the general mechanics are fine. This is what we were talking about here.
Yeah, I was kind of like, he probably just has it at level 1. Let's see what happens. I don't know, like it was probably a wash,
At the best case scenario, you need to like wait for this spell to end and then you jump. But once you use this last word on you, it's like, okay, you want to just put yourself in somewhere safe as soon as possible because you're gonna get silenced anyway.
Jex thinks Radiant's bottom tower is about to fall. So he's wrong.
Yeah, I was hoping for a lucky bash on Silencer there, didn't get it, and then missed some.
Yeah, I mean you need to get so lucky for that to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so did this range be worth it to try for the CS?
It wound up not being. I definitely was conscious. It was a conscious decision. I was like, I'm gonna do this, and I didn't have my Q available though, so I probably just should have let it go.
Yeah. The thing is, you're gonna get the CS. Let's say, how much HP you gonna pay for it? So like you're on 424. Look at this. By the time you're out and safe, you're on 191. So like you almost lost 300 HP for one CS. Now if you were to like get your HP back, it's gonna take you something like a salve almost, like slightly less than that. Like salve is like around 400 HP. So like it's like 390. So you almost spend 100 gold to get like 40 gold. You see,
right?
Like you get some XP out of it. I would say it's not worth it. So like times like this, you can like tell your support to like, okay, dude, go CS that thing, so they don't deny, and you just get the XP. So usually this happens with the last creep remaining, whether it's your creep you want to deny, your last creep or their last creep. And be mindful about the last creep. Usually it's not worth it in terms of HP to try to CS down. The same happened with this one, but not as punishing because the slaughter ignored you. But if he was paying attention, it could be punishing. One other thing that you notice happened, your bash did work out on the CSing here, and like it's kind of mess up with your timing. So one of the reasons people don't get this one level 1 is that it's kind of messed with your CSing.
Yep.
Is this a good lane to get a magic wand? Do you think?
I mean, generally yes, because Slaughter's using lots of spells and silence is certain.
This is passive.
You know.
I would say it's not as good. Like in a scale of 1 to 10, this is probably 4. If you want to go magic wand, it's not bad, but like it's not as good. In game that I feel like it's below half, and like I'm half HP with 1 tango, I will eat my Iron Branch. And if I want a magic wand, I will just buy another Iron Branch.
Gotcha.
Yep. Like instead of being half HP or just eat a tango and like go to like 80%.
Yep.
Yeah. You eat your Iron Branch, you will be like good to go. Yep. One small tip, it's not a big deal, but if you keep these creeps slightly higher up, then you could add them to their range and like deny your range. It's usually a free deny. Sometimes they zone you from that location, so like don't risk your life for it, but if they're letting you do it, you can get away with it. That would be
Yeah, I've Slaughter's just one of those guys who can just, with just like one.
You to be out of position against them. That's why I'm saying it. It wasn't the time. Like this game, it wasn't the time, but like know that it's an option for the future games. Sure. One thing you can do, and it's important, if you want to trade with a Slaughter, you need to click on him and see this number. See how many he has, and then count it.
Right.
Like if you did, you wouldn't die here. Did you die?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a Slaughter specific thing. You're gonna see a lot of a Slaughter dispatch, so keep clicking on him.
Yep.
When you're fighting someone, cast this before they cast the spells. It still works.
Oh, I thought they needed to already be on cooldown.
As long as they affect it, once they cast the spell, then the spell will stay on cooldown. Unless they change it. This is how much I remember it. 90% sure this is how it works.
Okay, I'll mess with that. I thought I've been waiting until after they cast them, but maybe I have that wrong.
Yeah. They can cast it if you use this and it's like the spell is ready, but like once they use it, it's gonna affect them.
Right.
I will test it on them after this review to make sure. Alright, that's how much I remember it.
Sure.
Middle tower is under attack. Dire don't look too scared of Radiant's top
So
tower.
keep going for this Maelstrom. No problem with that.
Not for you.
Dire's
Look
top
there.
tower is under attack.
So, this interaction should tell you something.
Yes.
Once this starter is level 6, we cannot mess
Yep.
with him. Like
Right.
as a melee hero, you just can't do anything to this guy. So instead of
Yep.
being here and like doing this, whatever this is,
Yep.
interacting with this starter, just try to
Yep.
pull your small camp yourself. If a starter denies his creeps, then it will ensure that the next wave will go under your tower and you will still be fine. And if he
Right.
just push into you, you just clear this camp as fast as you can with right clicks, and then you're gonna defend your tower. He's still not at the point to dive you under tower by himself, but 2v1 he can still do it, so be careful with
Dire's
that.
top tower is
Right.
to fall.
If you just miss the pool, you can still body block or something. Just try to make the equilibrium come back to your tower. And like when I say tower, I don't mean out of it. I mean like right underneath it.
Right.
What happened there? What items it tells you to buy? I'm seeing you
That-
going for the morbid mask, but is there any other item that helps with the what happened there just there? You just took like a decent amount of magical damage from this silencer.
Right. The raindrops. Sure.
Yeah, it just gonna work wonders against the silencer. He just casts his spells and suddenly you don't take damage, or not as much at least. You will be good to go. And
Yeah,
so
I
it
think
also tells you the moment you see a silencer, you should not show yourself.
Right.
He should not be able to cast both of his spells onto you, right? Like that.
Right.
The seeds of war.
There you go. Keep going now. Oh. Oh,
Yep.
you could trade this into a string and you probably would have left.
I started to, and then I was dead before I
Yeah.
could hit the button.
Unlucky.